Hey guys, Did22 here, and welcome to a special preview show for the new Super Show that we're going to be having as far as wrestling is concerned on the wrestling series. And it's called Power Play. Now, the basic premise of this whole thing is we have handicap matches, which is simply 2-on-1, 3-on-2, sometimes even 3-on-1, but for the most part, it's going to be handicap matches, which is just, like I said, 2-on-1, 3-on-2, and maybe even 3-on-1. But with that said, let's go through the card, which is basically the list of matches that we have for the show. So, our first one is one that involves CM Punk and Big Show. And before we began this preview show, we had a coin flip to determine who would have the one-man advantage in each of the matches. And it just so happened that the Big Show actually won the coin toss. So CM Punk is going to take on Big Show, and his partner for the night, his tag team partner for the night, is John Cena. And both guys have had problems with CM Punk in the past. And of course Punk is not in a good situation. He was absolutely livid when he found out that he was going to have to take on two guys that he has wronged in the past. So that's the first match. The second match, I'm going to take a look here. Okay. The second match is the only match that is not a handicap match. It's actually a triple threat match, which is, it's just simply three men against each other. That's all it is. And in this match, we have the former Intercontinental Champion, Adam Sandler, getting his rematch against the now champion, or the reigning and defending champion, I should say, Pikachu. And the third opponent is, not the third opponent, but the third guy is Ken Shamrock. Now, Ken Shamrock was to never get another shot at that championship for as long as Adam Sandler was the champion. Well, Adam Sandler's not the champion anymore, so now he qualifies to go after that championship. So you have a three-man match. And hang on a second. Okay, I'm sorry, we had a little bit of an interruption, but don't worry about it. Okay, next one is for the Women's Championship of the World. You have the champion, Lita Blanchimont, who has been champion for quite a while, actually. But this will definitely be her toughest test because she is taking on not one, but both of the Bella twins, Nikki and Brie. So it's a handicap match. But as for the actual match itself, it's going to be in a tag format type of deal, and it's tag team rules. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about to mention the first match, which was CM Punk, Big Show, and John Cena. Well, in that match, it's going to be tag team rules, and Punk has to just beat one of them to win the match. I almost forgot to mention that. Same thing with this match. Blanchimont, all she has to do is beat either Nikki or Brie, doesn't matter which one, to defend the title. But if Nikki or Brie, doesn't matter which one, gets the win, then the Bella Twins will be the co-champions of the Women's Championship. In other words, they would be co-owners of that championship if they were to win the match and the championship right then and there. And we'll go from there if that should ever happen. If not, well, don't worry about it. But yeah, that's one of the championship matches we have. And then we have another power play match that we have. And this was to be against, this was to be between Mr. McMahon and Kane. And as before, they flipped a coin to determine who would get the one-man advantage. And Mr. McMahon, he called heads, it was tails, and Kane won the toss. So that means Kane gets to choose a partner, a tag team partner, I should say, to take on Mr. McMahon, and he picked Link. Unless you've been watching my wrestling vids, or if you are just new to this, Mr. McMahon has wronged Kane as well as Link in the past, and they have not forgotten about him. So with that said, Mr. McMahon is going to be in deep trouble against two guys that weigh close to, if not, 300 pounds apiece. And Mr. McMahon weighs about 246, I think. I don't know, but Mr. McMahon is in deep trouble. That's all I can tell you. Okay, and then we have the Tag Team Championships of the World, held by LPGrodus and Dr. Truhu of the Industry. And in this particular case, it's going to be 3-on-2. And their three challengers are going to be three members of the Ascension. You have Midnight Raiden, who qualified to be the #1 contender. And then the guy that didn't show up, that showed up on the last show, which was on Heat, Randy Fuller. And the third guy is going to be Jake the Snake Roberts II, or simply just Jake the Snake. I don't care what you call him. But yeah, you have Jake the Snake, Randy Fuller, and Midnight Raiden. Okay, I almost forgot about him. Against Dr. Truhu and LPGrodus. Now, in this particular matchup, it's going to be elimination style. That means if one of... It doesn't matter on which side. If one of them gets pinned or is forced to... Alright, let me slow down. If one of them gets pinned or is forced to submit, that person has to leave the ring and go back to the locker room. And this process continues until one team is left standing. And a lot of things could happen. I mean, if the champions win 2-0 or 1-0, doesn't matter which, coal holder of the tag team champions it is. If the champions win, they keep the belts. It's as simple as that. If all three members of the Ascension win, well, they just have to decide amongst themselves who becomes the tag team champions. That's pretty much it. If two of them survive, then those two will become the tag team champions. But if one of them wins, then that person gets to have one of the championships and can give the other one to whoever he chooses. And that's just if the challengers win. If the champions win, they get to keep the belts straight up. That's all I have to say about that one. And then you have... Let me look here. Okay. For the World Heavyweight Championship, you have the champion, Dark Banga. And originally, he was supposed to defend it against two challengers. However, one of the challengers, being the #1 contender, Brock Lesnar has decided to revoke the right to have He's revoked the right to have a tag team partner. And he was quoted as saying, "I would much rather go it alone against two guys than to have one person with me, and that person steals the championship that I so rightfully earned by myself." Needless to say, Brock Lesnar wants revenge. He wants revenge against not only the champion, but also the guy who attacked him a few weeks ago in NHL. So, here's the situation in this case. If the challenger wins, he has to pin either one. It doesn't matter if he... being that this is a championship match, he has to pin either one. It doesn't matter who he pins. If the challenger wins, he becomes the champion straight up. If the champion gets the pinfall, he keeps the championship straight up. But if NHL, being the second guy in this whole thing, teaming up with the champion, if NHL gets the pinfall, then he becomes the champion. So I know it's kind of confusing, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So just keep that in mind when you watch the matches. And finally, the last match is going to be for the World Wrestling Federation Championship, and it will be between Shawn Michaels, who is the champion, and he is going to be at the one with the disadvantage of defending it against the previous champion, The Undertaker, and of course, naturally, of all the people he could choose, he chose Kane. So Kane, of course, well, since Kane was lucky enough to win the coin toss and was not at a disadvantage, Kane is going to be wrestling a second match that very night, teaming up with his brother to take on Shawn Michaels for the championship. If the champion wins, he keeps the belt, straight up, but whether it be The Undertaker or Kane, whichever one of them gets the pinfall on Shawn Michaels becomes the champion. That's as simple as it can be. Very simple. So, I'm sorry if it might take some time to wrap your head around it, but with that said, in a few days, no more than a week from this particular video, stay tuned for Power Play, as well as any other videos that I decide to make in between that time. If not afterwards, I don't know. But stay tuned for it, because, well, not because, but do stay tuned for it if you're interested. But with that said, that's going to be it for the preview show of Power Play for the next Super Show. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the Super Show to come. So with that said, have a good day, everybody.